There are some bands' live performances that you go to expecting to get hurt. Bad Luck 13, for example. When you go to a Bad Luck 13 show, in your mind, you know it's highly likely that you're going to walk away with at least a laceration. You know what you can't say that about? You can't say that about a Trophy Eyes show. But last week, we had some Trophy Eyes incident go down, but I couldn't really cover it because I was in the middle of this other thing that I was doing on the channel. But we have updates. This story is crazy, and we gotta talk about the Trophy Eyes incident. Bird Piche got partially paralyzed, but it's starting to look like we have a positive road ahead of us. Hey, how's it going? My name is Dan Frampton. Thank you so much for kicking back with me here today. How's about you hit us with a like, hit subscribe, and let's get rolling here. So on April 30th, the band from Australia called Trophy Eyes, they're a bit of a post-hardcore outfit. They've never really been my kind of thing, but they definitely have a loyal fan base. Dedicated, longtime fans. So they were touring across America. They ended up in Buffalo, New York, and one of their longtime fans, an artist in the area known as Bird Piche, went to the show. She's been a fan of this band since 2016. Since she was a 16-year-old girl. You know, so this would have meant a lot to her. So she's close to the stage, she's bobbing and weaving, she's having a good time, and all of a sudden, the singer from Trophy Eyes decides to go against the venue's rules that clearly state do not stage dive, and he stage dives. Now this guy has a history of saying frig you to the mosh rules of venues, okay? You can go back for like a year ago or whatever. He'll say that on a social media post that he doesn't really care about that. He's going to be moshing, he's going to be stage diving. And in the punk rock world, you can't really hold a moral high ground to that. Moshing, stage diving is a part of the culture. It's been a part of the culture. It's going nowhere. So yeah, it's kind of cool when bands are like, we want to be safe. We want to be inclusive for everybody. And venues are doing the same thing, more or less from a liability standpoint. Don't sue us, you know, that kind of thing. So I understand why the rules are in play. But when things end the way that they did on this evening, you realize, oh, this can go extremely poorly. And it did. So the singer from Trophy Eyes decides to do the stage dive. I believe it's a back onto the crowd type stage dive that he does. I will not be showing the clip. I mean, it just looks like a stage dive. It's just a stage diving clip. But because somebody got extremely hurt during it, I don't exactly feel comfortable showing it in full here. But during that stage dive, he landed on Bird Piche, and she ended up in the hospital with catastrophic spinal injuries. And we got a quote here from NBC News from Bird Piche where she says, "When you hear about these types of injuries, they're obviously very serious, so I didn't expect any recovery." So right away going into this bleak, being like, all right, well, I guess I no longer have arms or legs. Thank you, my favorite band forever. Thank you for jumping on me and taking away my ability to have motor skills. Diving back into that NBC News article, the family feared the worst when Piche, named after legendary saxophonist Charlie Bird Parker, was rushed to the hospital. "We were even worried she wasn't going to make it," her mom Amy Lee said. Piche never backed out during the incident, and she clearly remembered how Trophy Eyes frontman John Floriani leapt backwards into the audience. "It was like his body, my neck," Piche said. "It was like a crowd surfing thing." She goes on to say, "It's pretty typical at these kinds of shows. I didn't really know what to expect, but I definitely didn't expect to end up in the hospital after the concert. I have a long road ahead, but I'm very optimistic right now." Piche, her mother, and her stepfather declined to comment when they were asked whether they're considering any civil action. For now, Piche and her family are just focusing on getting her back to 100. And that is exactly where the focus needs to be. But you know, litigators are going to come sniffing through, especially because this is making its way to the mainstream news. I'm on NBC News right now. That's how big this story has gotten. So you definitely know there's some scheming lawyers out there trying to make some money off of this case for sure. Diving back into the article, I'm going to rehab either later today or tomorrow, but they do think I'll have a full recovery. That is incredible news. Full recovery, we love to see it. It was very bleak when this stuff happened. And I'm glad I waited to make this video because it was very dark and I didn't want to come on here and be like, well, her life is completely ruined forever and I have no idea what to say about that. That's obviously horrible. So it's great that we got a little bit more time under our belt to kind of see how this story is shaken out. And to go right into rehab right away, yeah, hell yeah. The article goes on to say that she has gross motor skills right now, which I think is like arms and legs and stuff. But she hopes to attain fine motor skills and the ability to make intricate finger and toe movements. We gotta get her back to everyday tasks. Everyday tasks, let's go. So, this update doesn't necessarily make the story any less dark or any less tragic. This is an awful thing to have happened to somebody, especially when it's like their longtime favorite band, and now, oh my god, I don't have the ability to walk or write or stand up or anything like that. That's obviously awful. The band waited a little bit to go public with their statement of it because they wanted to respect the wishes of the family, but when the family said, hey, you guys can talk about this thing, that's all right, they started a GoFundMe. It looks like the GoFundMe is doing well. I'll leave a link if I remember down below. You can go support the GoFundMe. But diving back into the article, it says, so my legs, it's involuntary. I have been kicking a lot lately. I can't control it, said Piche. My arms, they're, besides my hand dexterity, almost fully there. My fingers don't have full movement. Considering what the family were told the night on April 30th, the outlook is better than expected. I'm sure it must have been very scary to hear the term catastrophic spinal cord injury. There's no way I'm coming back from a catastrophic, that's an intense word, spinal cord injury. Jesus friggin' Christ, bro. Her mom goes on to say that it's a long road ahead, but the early signs are promising and it's exciting. The band goes on to say that this situation has shaken them to the core and they want us to keep Bird in our thoughts. So that's a nice sentiment. Coming out with all this sort of stuff might mean that Bird's not going to pursue legal action. And even on the night of the incident, on the 30th, when it all went down, they stopped the show early, and the singer of the band that just injured her rode in the ambulance with Bird to the hospital. So maybe this is all a way for the band to be like, hey, don't sue us. Let's just all get over this really quickly. But I don't know. I just hope the best for her. I don't care about any of the litigation. I don't have a dog in that race. Whatever they decide to do from a legal standpoint, from a civil standpoint, whatever. Just want to see Bird get back to healthy, back to normal, and hopefully she's not super traumatized and is still able to go to shows and enjoy them. Because the effects of something like this happening can definitely go beyond the physical and take permanent rest in the brain and in the psychological. But overall, I'm actually happy to say that this catastrophic spinal cord injury is looking hopeful and that we're going to get those fine motor skills back. And this is the first punk rock story to make it to mainstream news and I don't remember how long. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw around here, please remember to hit like and press subscribe. I live stream every night, so come back and watch the live streams. It's a fun time. We're chilling and watching new bands. I think you're going to like it. Okay, see you later.